for and welcome to the stage Deanne, Vuzi, and Gurpreet, Kaur, Bolina. How y'all doing?
Great. How about you?
You excited?
I'm nervous as heck.
You know what'll make you less nervous? Some roaring applause! All right.
Okay, so hey folks, my name is Deanne Vuzi. I'm about to drop my phone, that's how nervous I am. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the communications coordinator of a group called Social Stride.
Hi, my name's Gurpreet Kaur, Bolina. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the program coordinator for Social Stride. Today you'll be joining us on hearing how two best friends got together to try to create some sustainable change in Alberta.
So with the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement after the death of George Floyd, I did quite a bit of online advocacy. So doing this work, I established quite a love-hate relationship with social media. I hate it because it's a space that I've unfortunately been traumatized in. A personal example I always use is people resharing the video of George Floyd's death. Seeing this every time I scrolled really hurt my mental health. And so I can't really blame other users because no one ever really taught us how to be online advocates, but I do love it because I know without that video being shared, we wouldn't have seen the same level of justice we saw. And so by joining Social Stride, it allowed me to make sustainable change, but also impact more people than I could have done on my own.
And one moment that I'll recall is when local news covered the first Edmonton's farmers' protest with the headline, "Indian Farmers Rally Creates Major Traffic Delays." The comment section of that Facebook post was filled with comments of racism, hate, discrimination. Some comments even called for the protesters to be run over by the cars that were on the Anthony Henday. And those protesters were my family, they were my friends, they were my loved ones and my classmates. And just seeing the combination of Punjabi elders protesting on the streets of Delhi combined with the Black Lives Matter protests in Canada really made me see people coming out with their stories of racism and hate and just wanting to create that channel for some peace and some support.
So boom, we have a picture of trolls on the screen. I can't speak. The definition of trolls is a dwarf or giant in a Scandinavian folklore inhabiting caves or hills. But over time, the term troll has evolved and adapted new meanings. According to the same dictionary, troll can now either be a noun or a verb. The verb means to harass, criticize, or antagonize someone, whereas the noun means a person who intentionally antagonizes others online by posting inflammatory, irrelevant, or offensive comments. So when you deal with trolls online or online hate, it's quite confusing to navigate. No one ever taught us how to do this stuff in school, or at least for me. So it's almost like its own version of BotBet. Some people tweet it or just release information. Other people will ignore it or deny the information, where most of the time I have people gaslighting me.
Yeah, so we recognize a gap between the online incidents that were occurring and some remediation happening in the offline world. That was one of the major things that we wanted to bridge the gap between by providing education and advocacy against online hate, racism, and discrimination. And thanks to our funders as well as partners in Edmonton, we've made that dream a reality. We figured there's nothing that two young BIPOC women can't accomplish. And out of this came the creation of Social Stride. And our vision is to create a healthier online environment by embodying peace, dignity, and respect. And our goal is to educate, advocate, and support victims of online hate, racism, and discrimination. And yeah, within the past year, we've expanded our outreach throughout Canada. We've been able to train youth, nonprofits, and companies on how to do digital literacy, bystander intervention, and de-escalation. And we've also had the experience of working with news outlets to better support BIPOC folk when they come out on news stories to try to share their trauma. But the laws that are related to online hate, especially online hate, they're very limited and they're really hard to enforce. Oftentimes the hate crimes need to have a crime actually happen, like assault, and then hate will be added on after the fact. And with online hate, it's even more limited.
So social media, as I'm sure for all of you, it's a part of our lives. You can't really go offline because this means you'll lose opportunities, and most importantly, you're not able to freely express yourself. The other thing is you can't just ignore this information out there, because every time someone searches up your name, some sort of content will come up. So we're going to give you some of the tools that we use. Our first tool is a traffic light. You're probably all like, Deanne, you're crazy. What am I going to do with the traffic light? I'll tell you. So we use this traffic light to kind of classify how we're feeling mentally, emotionally, and physically. And this tool is not only useful online, but it's also useful in-person spaces when you're interacting with people. So the green light means you're living worry-free and mindlessly. So an online example would be you're aimlessly scrolling through social media, liking things, commenting on things, whereas an offline example would be you're walking through downtown, listening to music, enjoying life. The green light is obviously the ideal state of mind. And then we have the yellow light, which you're slightly on guard, but you're still able to enjoy your surroundings. So an online example would be you're scrolling on social media and you come across a slightly triggering news post, whereas an offline example would be you're walking around downtown, it's rush hour, so you kind of have to be aware of the bike lanes, the sidewalks, and the busy streets. The yellow state of mind, it's all right. And if you're in a red state of mind, you're always on high alert. So an online example would be you're too scared to go on social media because people are retweeting a graphic video of someone being assaulted. And an offline example would be you're walking through downtown and there's a protest and you hear protesters yelling racial slurs. The red light is obviously a harmful state of mind, and unfortunately a lot of BIPOC folks either live in a yellow or red light state of mind.
Yeah, and our second tool is the use of reporting systems. It's not useful to fight fire with fire. It makes the situation worse, and it turns those comment sections into a battleground of hate. One of your first actions should always be to report that comment, that post, that video on the app's reporting tools. Our final tool is peer-to-peer support. This can be an individual friend, a family member, or a loved one who can just provide you with someone to kind of listen to, kind of vent to. Another can be a healthcare professional as well. They provide you with skills and coping mechanisms, and also organizations such as our own. We kind of give victims the option to have different definitions of remediation. And what we want our key takeaways to be for you is that when you're online, you should check in with yourself, use that traffic light symbol if you want to. And if you see something online, you should be able to report it via the in-app reporting mechanisms or reaching out to an organization. Just know that we're there. Thank you.
We did it!